first question, it will be to you, Melissa. So you've worn many different hats from the communication and tech perspective to the more entrepreneurial perspective. What we are interested listening to this presentation and maybe to the first session is what are the key trends that you feel have shaped the narrative around the participation of women entrepreneurs? And as an entrepreneur, what you can tell us also on the communication of it all?
In terms of key trends, I would say that the biggest one is that that women don't have enough access to funding and to resources. And this is due to some societal and cultural things that are taking place across the globe, but it's also due to potentially some things that women are doing to themselves, such as underselling themselves or not coming to the table enough with I guess maybe asking for permission. To Karen's point, I don't know if she's here anymore. No, it looks like she left. Something that I'm interested in looking into as an entrepreneur, particularly focused on women, is the self-confidence issue that seems to come to the table quite a lot. With Resolve, we're a very new accelerator program, and we launched our pilot program in Lebanon in May. We brought a group of delegates from the UK. A lot of them were very successful CEOs and startup coaches, and we brought them with us to Beirut for a week long to do a conference with some entrepreneurs. We created a curriculum around purpose and impact. Are any of you familiar with the Lean Startup methodology or the Lean Startup book? Andre, of course. Anybody else? Okay, so we took that canvas and we integrated purpose and impact into every single step of building a business, from the concept to operations to the execution of the actual product or service. So by the time the entrepreneurs were done filling out this curriculum, having a positive social impact or having a sustainable model was just something that happened by default. They weren't necessarily a social enterprise, but they were having some benefit on society. Most of the entrepreneurs at that particular event that we organized were men. There were 16 startups that pitched. I think there were 2 women. But something that's interesting that's happening in Beirut is that there's a tech cluster called the Beirut Digital District, and there are 1,300 employees working within tech startups. The ratio from women to men is 55% women to 45% men. Now, these women are not in the C-suite roles. They're more on manager or below manager roles. But the fact that there's that many women working in technology startups, to my knowledge, that's not happening anywhere else in the world, let alone the United States or the United Kingdom. So there's no shortage, at least in Beirut, of women in that ecosystem that are a part of startups, that have that entrepreneurial mindset. What's missing, in my opinion, are leadership programs that are helping boost the confidence of women and are actually helping to disrupt some cultural, societal things that are ingrained in the community there. The other thing that we're seeing is that there seems to be a conflict sometimes when there's cross-sector partnerships, which are highly important. You need every single sector involved. You need the governments, you need nonprofits, you need the private sector as well. What happens though when you're getting groups that are partnering and they have a very diverse set of agendas is there's no single measurable goal. And therefore you come out of it and nobody really knows if they've hit their KPIs or if they've actually collectively achieved anything or not. So one of the things that I was interested in, we can talk about this afterwards for Jeffrey and Torsten, is looking at what is considered success regionally and in these different countries, because it varies from country to country. But overall, I would say just the fact that there are initiatives like WeMena and the fact that there are countless programs across the globe focused on women's empowerment and women's entrepreneurship, there's definitely no shortage. What's happening is that the cross-sector partnerships don't have a single goal, and there doesn't seem to be enough accountability or evaluation taking place. But overall, it just, from our perspective at Resolve, it seems like women are making a huge dent. We all know that when women are in charge, more kids go to school, more kids are fed, and they put money back into the communities. We all know that when more women on boards, companies are more successful, but the numbers aren't translating in the opportunities with access to funding. And the numbers are also not translating in terms of women actually coming to the table and taking that next extra step into taking a leadership role.